I'm here. I think I'm early, late. I don't know.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Super Sensitive Show. My name is Daria, and I'm here with my guest, Ainsley Ljungström.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
You're doing well?
I'm doing well.
That's good.
I mean,
how are you really doing?
how am I really doing? I don't know. I picked up my brother yesterday. He's visiting.
Okay.
So it's been like exciting, an exciting week, but also, I guess like having someone having someone over to visit is always
no matter who it is.
No matter who it is, it's always just gonna be like, oh my god, I have to set up my space, have to do my thing.
Yeah.
And like, you're keeping track of yourself and
another person.
Even it's like
barely keep track of this one.
Yeah, this one is like
This is a lot.
It's a lot to manage. There's a lot of check boxes to get through every day.
Yeah.
And the day after that.
How was GradX for you?
It was really fun. My roommate, she's in illustration.
Okay.
But she's graduating. I just got to go watch this year.
Yeah.
So.
But I know how busy it was. It was like a swarm.
It's really busy. I think, I don't know, I kind of thrive in like busyness. It keeps me going. And,
yeah. So you're like kind of extroverted? Like you like the social crowds?
I don't know if I'm like an extrovert.
Yeah. I mean, I just asked you that, but I hate the like strong definition that there can only be two. I feel like everybody's kind of like a mixture.
Yeah, I feel like I'm very much like introverted in the way that I feel like I don't go out of my way to like seek a conversation or something, but I'm very happy to talk and like I don't know if that makes me an introvert or like
I think that's like a healthy balance, especially because you can recognize it and you can be like, I enjoy a social outing and I enjoy the presence of other people, but I don't necessarily need it. Like, I love to be alone.
I love being alone. It's a really important skill to learn. And like, as much as it's super fun to go for like drinks with the girlies and like, I don't know, hit the town. Yeah. There has to be this balance of like how much time you spend like prioritizing your social well-being and then like how much time you spend reconnecting to
because like at the end of the day you're with yourself and you have to
for
be
the
with
rest of your
yourself
life
for the rest of your life
for the rest of your life, and that's a scary thought.
That's a very scary thought.
Like,
we haven't even gotten into the material and we're already
welcome to the show.
We're gonna unpack everything. Ainsley has her own podcast show called Sentient Stardust.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And you have 2 episodes so far?
2 episodes so far.
What do you talk about on the show?
Oh, God.
I just get
really existential. Because at the moment, it's just, like, me sitting by myself. I normally like to record, like, you know the thoughts when you're, like, laying in bed and you're like, oh, my God, I can't sleep.
Yeah, it's
I just wish I could talk to someone right now.
That's why I loved it, because it was kind of like the type of conversation that you have with yourself
when you're like sitting there and you're like, I cannot fall asleep, here's what's going on in my mind. And I find like categorizing it into episodes and like sorting through different thoughts,
like topics and themes that you've been processing.
It's just helpful. It's like a little, it is an episode in my mind, you know?
Yeah, it's like a personal reflection. It's like a journaling kind of thing for yourself. Because like I find a lot of the reason why I benefit so much from this show, because I can speak out the things that I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And it's like verbalizing it, and it's like putting it on paper is one thing. I feel like this is like a level up.
It's like you can have the conversation with yourself in your head,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can take the conversation and write it down on a piece of paper, make a little note, do a journal entry, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can like level it up again and like use your resources to communicate it with other people.
Yeah.
So like I'm talking, or like I had an idea in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and then whatever, I put it out. Like
Yep.
you wrote down a note,
Yep.
we're having a conversation, and we're using our tools to communicate with you guys.
And we're like speaking it into the universe too.
Yeah.
Right? Which I think is a big part of like learning how to take your own advice.
Mm-hmm.
So when I catch myself like in a slump, like maybe I'm going to go back and watch these episodes and be like, I literally said that, and I'm going to
like
try and believe.
I've been here before.
Yeah.
I can get myself out of it again.
Yeah, totally.
And like having those, I don't know if I'd call it a record or like,
Yeah, like a collection.
yeah, like it's almost like a mood board of your thoughts.
At the end of the day, it's content. And like
Mhm.
what I like about you is you love to document content,
I
like
do.
different kinds. It's like you like to experience things and share it the way, like share your experiences through your own lens. And I think that's
very
really cool.
very much like a POV. Like I love sharing
Yeah.
the way that I see things.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if I necessarily need to know like the academic
Mm-hmm.
truth to
Mhm.
something
Mm-hmm.
to feel the need to share my interpretation of a concept.
Yeah, you can just like appreciate it and
Mhm.
document it and kind of keep it. And I think that's what I love about it is like you have all these, I guess, like little recordings or notes or photos or whatever it is, and you can just keep them
Yeah,
forever,
and just like
and it
stick them
reminds
somewhere.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. So you're in the Digital Futures program.
I am.
Do you see a future in the digital?
I do see a future in the digital. I think what's really important to think about when it comes to like the concept of a digital future
Mm-hmm.
is, hold on, I need a second to like collect
Yeah,
this
of course.
because it's a really big thought.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately a digital future isn't going to be a reality that we experience fully.
Okay.
So I think like where it's at is definitely augmented realities and like using technology to enhance our experiences.
Right.
Because you know, when you're like playing a VR video game, I don't know, like I don't even know if Fortnite, I'm gonna use it as an example.
Sure.
I don't know if it's in VR. I probably should. I don't. But like you can just full on like have wars and like feel like virtual pain and stuff.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of
No,
scary.
it gets spooky.
It gets so
very
spooky
spooky.
online, and like it's so easy to share like really dark shit online. And I feel like we need tangible experiences and like really human experiences. Like it can't be like too digital.
No,
you know what I mean?
yeah, there's
that's
like
what I'm trying to say.
that kind of mix. In your episode, you talk about humans becoming this new like cyborg,
Yeah.
right? And the eventual, I guess, like transformation, and if people are going to be willing to, like you said, chip themselves, right, and want to be completely immersed digitally to stay alive longer, right? Because that's seems to be what we really desire, is to be able to live forever.
I think to some degree, like there's definitely a person out there who wants to just live forever for the sake of being like, yeah, I've been around for like 3,000 years, no big deal, flex, whatever. But I think it comes down to extending the human experience, or like extending the conscious experience.
Right.
Whereas like having the most time to have the most opportunities and the most experiences and the most abundance and whatever. I think that's kind of where we're looking.
But you're saying it doesn't have to be fully physical, like you're thinking like an upload your brain kind of thing?
Well, I guess what I talked about in my internet episode is to some degree our brains are in the process of being uploaded.
Yeah.
Like every social platform you use has a curated algorithm catered to your interests in terms of the content, I guess, that you like. Like your Google searches, it keeps your history. You have a contacts. You can talk to literally anyone, anywhere, anytime. Yeah. If you know how to reach them. Yeah. And to me, like, that is pretty cyborg. We use digital mediums to store data outside of ourselves. Right. It's like, do I know my mom's cell phone number? I think so. Yeah. But it's so much easier just to go into my phone app, be like, hey Siri, call mom. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like even like reminders too. Like
having
we're telling ourselves our brains don't have the capacity to remember. So let me put all my important events and information in the digital cloud or whatever it is.
Yeah. And I think like it kind of gives a new meaning to like the saying like having your head in the clouds.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. It's totally
like,
ironic.
Oh, my head's like so in the cloud right now. Yeah. And it totally is.
Yeah. No, for sure. I also really like how you talked about our experience in the digital age being godlike. And I want you to talk about that a little bit more and explain that.
It's just so OP, I think. Like, so OP. The fact that we just have the creative potential to like render any form of idea into existence.
Yeah, even on like the small scale level.
Right? Like you can find any fact. You can open a 3D application, like sculpt something. Yeah. You can print
3D
print things. You can use Photoshop and like create new versions of images. And
but it's like I like how you say godlike because that's directly linked to being a creator and sculpting things and turning things from nothing into something. Yeah. And also the like mass reach that the internet has.
It's huge. And like when you think about the internet, not necessarily like just a Wi-Fi connection, not being like, oh, I have to connect to the internet. Yeah. Like thinking about it as anything in that cloud or like anything like the connections or like the different bridges that connect countries, politics. I don't really like getting into politics, but yeah. People, concepts, aesthetics, audios, whatever.
Microphones,
podcasts. Sorry.
I wanted to ask you because I genuinely didn't know, but you discussed that in one of your classes you were talking a lot about the metaverse. Yeah. How do you like define a metaverse?
Oh God.
What does it include?
I guess, well, you can break it down into meta, which is like, hold on. I'm going to Google the actual definition.
Because I'm curious.
This like is some cyborg shit.
Yeah. No, literally. When somebody says something is meta, it usually feels like something that's extremely large and overpowering.
Like larger than life.
And groundbreakingly philosophical.
Meta is an adjective of a creative work referring to itself or the conventions of its genre. Self-referential. Basically, something of a higher or second order.
Okay.
Something larger than life.
Okay.
We'll put it that way.
That makes sense.
And then a verse is just like a plane of existence.
Yeah. So what about that is, like, what is your classes, what do they unpack when you guys talk about that? Is it just like philosophical discussions, or are you guys creating things?
It's at the point where I am in my studies, we haven't really gotten philosophical in class yet. Okay. I think on my own on my own time. Yeah. I've definitely like overthought a couple of the concepts. But the classes mostly are like, here are the technologies that we have today. Let's explore them. Let's learn how to use them. And then in the upper years, you kind of get to pick, oh, I really liked doing this like mapping technology, or oh, I really like doing this machine learning technology. And like having the skill set and like building out your toolbox is where I'm at right now. Yeah,
that's really cool. I like that idea of the toolbox, because I feel like that's university in general. And any sort of schooling is you're like adding the very basic skills, but also the like base knowledge. Yeah, like you
might take a class being like, oh, I really don't know why I need to use this, or I'm never gonna use this topic ever again. Yep. But then like a couple years down the line, you realize kind of that, oh hey, it actually does kind of come in handy. Maybe not the way that I planned for it to come in handy. Maybe not the way I expected. Yeah. But just having a little bit of
absolutely. Knowledge. I mean, I took personal anecdote, but I took art of presentation this past semester, and I thought I was gonna absolutely hate it. And it was one of those like, well, I need an elective and it's between this and something that I know I'm not going to give a shit about. So let me do something that is so unbelievably out of my comfort zone and take this like public speaking class. Yeah. And it literally lined up with the beginning of this show, which was so perfect, because it's like I'm learning how to present myself. Yeah. How to take the ideas that are in my head, you know, festering, and in my brain, you know, when it's just in your head sort of thinks that it's already perfectly formed. But it's not until you can get it out in words and try and communicate it to someone else where you start to learn things about yourself and what you actually wanted to say about the idea. And I thought it was just going to be, how to project and how to have a fun,
like a drama class.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like how to have a fun, interesting conversation. But really it's about learning your body's muscle memory to speaking to other humans, and it's something that like people really, really hate.
Yeah, speaking is hard.
Very hard.
Because this happens to me all the time. It's happening right now, where I'm like, I know exactly what I want to say. Yeah. And I know what I want to contribute. Yeah. But like putting together the words and being able to deliver them in a way that is like comfortable and I feel confident in. Yeah. That's always the most difficult part of an idea.
Absolutely.
Like sharing it.
Absolutely. And I mean, I loved your podcast because it can tell you were thinking about it and you were really focusing on the right word choices, because there's a lot of words.
There are so many words.
There's so many words, and you want to like pick the right one and sound super smart all the time and things like that. It's difficult.
I feel like sounding intellectual, or like feeling like you have a good dictionary of words. It's like fun, but it's
kind of stupid sometimes.
It's so stupid. It's a little pretentious to be like, oh yeah, I know all of the right words and basically a thesaurus, whatever. Where it's like, sometimes I just wish that I could communicate in memes. I know. Or like in meme format. Yeah.
Oh my God. One more thing about your show is you talked about going on this like social media unplugging, and how sometimes people take it really literally and they make a big thing out of it, which can be so overwhelming, and be like, I'm going to take a break from social media, and they plan it out to be this 1 month thing. And then in a day, you know, they kind of give into it. And I like how you sort of framed it as like a small unplug.
Yeah, it can just be like, I'm not gonna open Instagram until I eat lunch.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm not gonna consume any digital data until I've like completed this task.
And it's extremely interesting how resistant we are to it.
Yeah.
Like, we get so uncomfortable and we want to know, you know, what are we missing? And I
get FOMO.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. And it's like, are people reaching out to me? And then there's the panic. And it's like, I think if there was something really important, you
would know.
You'll get to it, right?
Yeah.
And the way I think about it is building your tolerance, and I'm going to say muscle memory again, because it is true that like
it's definitely a reflex.
The physical urge to just check and see,
or even
what
just
did
to
I
hold
miss?
it. Like
Exactly.
holding your phone feels like something.
It's my child.
Yeah, it's literally
baby.
like my little. It's my second brain.
Yeah. No,
what am I going to do without it?
Yeah, literally.
I don't leave the house without it. I don't poop without it.
Yeah. Some people leave the house without it. My lovely editor who forgets that.
What? People leave the house without their phones?
What the fuck is your problem?
Outed on the pod. Called out on the pod. But absolutely.
We're on to you.
Like, it really is like, why do I feel this constant itch and urge to check and, you know, be present digitally? Because you're right when you say it's like your second brain. I would even say it's your second person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is my digital Daria doing right now?
What's my little avatar up to?
No, literally.
What's my avatar up to? And I feel
What's my mini me doing?
And I feel like
she hasn't posted a story in a while.
Don't get me started on the whole like digital persona and everything. Like,
that's crazy.
It's one of those weird phenomena.
Yeah.
Phenomenon.
Do 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 do. Phenomena. Do do do. Amazing.
Like having a persona. We've seen it in culture. Like, I think two really big examples that everybody would know would be Andy Warhol, Marilyn Monroe. We're like having this pop culture identity to like send out to people.
Yeah.
That person that is experienced in the public eye is so, I said public eye.
Well, it's true. It's false. It's
very fake.
Like a created, generated entity.
It's like the ideal self.
Yeah.
And
that's a good way to put it.
And it makes being the real person on the other side of the phone feel so uncomfortable.
I'm so glad you said that, because I literally had in my notes like this idea that you have to measure up to your
digital self.
Your digital self, who's successful, cool, unbothered,
stylish,
fun,
funky,
like connecting with nature, you know, not fazed by things that have been difficult in your life. Like it does get very meta, as you say.
I think that's the part that worries me the most about transhumanism, like becoming a fully digital entity.
Yeah.
'Cause like, sure, she's cool.
Yeah.
But like, she has no feelings.
Yeah,
and that's the
it's
real
true.
fun part about being alive, is living, I guess.
Yeah.
And like having those ups and downs, I guess, like the ebbs and flows.
Yeah. Having the feelings, like having the parts
being
of you.
super sensitive.
I didn't even have to
Bingo.
ask. Roll the credits. We can wrap it right now.
Yeah. That's the fun part.
You also talked about in your life there was a point where you felt like it was your like kind of pessimistic, like nihilism era, right? Where it was like
My nihilism era.
Yeah, like things were difficult to cope with, and a lot of things were changing. Did you ever have, maybe in the same period of time, a moment where you were like, I hate that I'm a sensitive person? Or do you even consider yourself a sensitive person?
I think I'm very, very sensitive, especially like emotionally.
Yeah.
Like, I have a very delicate heart, I think.
That's a great way to put it. I love that.
It's
That's
just
beautiful.
like,
I'm
it's like my
stealing that
little-
actually.
Rename the podcast.
That's
It's not
gonna
super
be
it's Delicate
that's
Heart
gonna be the
Podcast.
next hoodie. Watch out,
Ooh,
dropping next week.
Actually, that'd be cool if you had like a hoodie design with like a
Yeah,
yeah
vase,
oh.
vase,
Oh.
a delicate.
A vase. A vase.
I'm
You can have
French.
a vase with des fleurs.
Est-ce que je peux vase délicatessen?
Oui, je suis délicat.
Oh my god, are you French?
No, but I took French in high school.
Counts, and we're French already. Sorry, Lara, who was a linguist on this show.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I guess
Sorry, yeah.
was
going
it
back.
during that point where you were like, I hate that I'm a sensitive person, or like did you like grow up with that as well?
I grew up. My mom will tell stories. I've just been a minute. I was a leash kid. It was a little puppy backpack, so it was cute. But like, I was a leash kid. I had anger problems.
Yeah.
Like Master Escape Artist, Houdini.
Yep.
The whole thing.
Yep.
If you've seen The Incredibles, like, I was Jack, just unpredictable, on fire 50% of the time.
Oh my god.
Running away, going invisible, the whole thing. I was also the only kid who wore princess dresses, like Disney princess costumes, until grade 1.
I'm
And then
obsessed
my
with
teacher
that.
told me that I had to wear real clothes.
Well, she doesn't have any fucking taste.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to wear this Cinderella wedding dress until it turns brown.
She's
Like-
literally jealous because she's divorced 3 times over.
So yeah, I think as a kid I was really expressive.
Mm-hmm.
And then growing up, it was like, oh, you're being too much. You're doing too much. Why are you being so extra? Like, as a young kid and as a adolescent,
Mm-hmm.
growing up trying not to be too much is
like-
like really
It's like
frustrating.
it's like trying to suppress something that really wants to come out.
When like everything you do, you're like, I don't want to be too extra about this,
Yeah.
or like I don't want to feel
Second guessing.
I don't want to feel too much about whatever situation I'm in. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to be cool. I don't want to look like
I want to be a cool, nonchalant, girly.
Look like I'm being a little sensitive baby right now.
Yeah, that's so
That-
damaging, that process. Telling yourself that you were wrong this entire time.
Mm-hmm. And it just feels like repressing those creative ambitions. Where you're like, I have so much to say,
Yeah,
and for some reason, no one wants to listen to me. Weird.
not anymore.
Yeah, going back to nihilism.
Mm-hmm.
It got to a point where I think I was trying so hard to be some person that I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this. Mic drop.
Yeah.
Dropped out of my old university.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to go to art school and feel feelings the way that they come to me.
Mhm.
Gonna experience life. the
Did
way that it
you
comes.
surprise yourself that when you got here, it just ended up being like you're actually getting more in touch with yourself rather than trying to run away?
I don't think it surprised me as much as it scared me.
Yeah.
Having an idea and like
Mhm.
it feels like a full thought where you're like in your head, you're like, oh my God, I'm totally being myself right now.
Yeah.
I totally understand who I am.
Right.
I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
Putting it into practice and like really embodying yourself all the time
Mm-hmm.
and like really feeling like you're being genuine
Mm-hmm.
is a tough skill to like reteach yourself.
Yeah. And it can feel artificial too, right?
does.
Like you're like trying to be so true to your real genuine self, and it's like that meaning is always changing and evolving and, you know, hopefully getting better and progressing as you learn more about yourself. But it can definitely feel like a lot of pressure.
It's a lot to manage.
Yeah.
Like to be like, oh my gosh, what do I like? What do I want to wear this morning?
Yeah.
How do I want to present myself to my friends and to my family? And is it all like meaningful to me?
Yeah.
And like, I guess growing up on the internet also is just another added challenge because
Yeah.
I guess like it's kind of stuck there forever.
Yeah, and I find on the internet, like, even, you know, whether it's through a tweet or reposting something that I relate to, it's like I'm trying to prove to myself and others that these are my values.
Yeah, that I know what I'm talking about.
I know what I'm talking about. I know what I like. I know what I believe in, and I know the kind of person I want to be. When it's really like, at the end of the day, you need to remind yourself, like, you're constantly growing and changing, and this digital platform, whether or not it's going to bring you validation, is not going to matter in the long run. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, it's a lot of stress to put on yourself to not only present yourself in the real physical world, but also in your digital presence.
Yeah. I think, like, digital presence and physical presence, I guess, they're just really interesting concepts to me.
It is, absolutely. And it's like, you can even start talking about, like, how when I see younger kids interact, even like the young kids that I teach who are, like, you know, going into grade 5 and 6, and like 80% of their conversation is TikTok memes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know when I was in grade 6, I was also, like, you know, referencing memes and stuff, but it's like, it becomes their basis of communication.
Yeah.
And then you can look into language and, you know, how maybe our social challenges are growing, right? And just like being socialized in general is complicated when 80% of your time is on a screen.
Or it's like spent in this alternate version of reality.
Yeah.
Where it's like you could quote a meme to your grandma.
Yeah.
And you'd have to explain it.
Yeah.
Because...
Oh my God, I love those memes that are like me trying to explain this to a, like, Victorian child.
Yeah.
Or it's like me trying to explain this to an alien who landed on Earth, and it's like, you can't.
Sometimes... So I don't use TikTok.
Okay.
And anytime there's like a new trend or something going on, I feel like I'm the alien that landed on Earth. And I'm like, where did this... It has
that effect. That's also marketing
where
for
did
TikTok.
This come from?
Right? Like you don't want to miss out. That's what they're saying.
I do want to miss out.
Exactly.
Honestly, sometimes I see the challenges and like, I never did like the cinnamon challenge or like the ice bucket challenge when those were like, I was probably in elementary school or something, like grade 5. But I just remember looking at the kids who were like my age, like doing stupid shit like that, and I was like, what's the goal here?
Yeah.
Like, how is this a productive activity?
Yeah.
Whereas, like,
that's the thing with trends is they take over so quickly, and everybody wants to do their own specialized version of a general trend and be a part of it. And when I say marketing, I mean like all those social media platforms are betting on that and hoping. And
they're like, you know what? Everybody's going to want to do this.
Yeah. And they're living for it. And they don't want people like you who are thinking, you know, a little bit higher about what you're putting out into the world, you know, and being conscious of, is this something I actually want to do? Or is this something that everybody's doing? And I was talking with my guest last week about like existing and perception and needing to be connected with yourself so that you can't be swayed by things that are so come across as so convincing and so important and urgent,
like superficial,
in
a way where it's like, oh, I kind of wish that I was doing this because like everyone else is doing it and they look like they're having a great time. But I don't know, I've been in my nihilism era where I was like, why am I doing this? Like, this makes no sense. This makes me feel like garbage. Like, I don't know. It's just not, it's not a happy place to be.
Yeah. I think if I can say this, I think you're on the right track in terms of your like thought process, because we all need to hear it sometimes, right? And the validation is, I think it's, even the fact that we're trying to think out of this pattern that we've locked in to, I think that's you know, that's a good sign. And it also sounds like you're making time for your mental health and you're journaling and you're reflecting. Like, that's a big part of.
I definitely make too much time for it though.
I don't think so. I don't think that exists.
It kind of feels that way though, you know, where you're like, oh god, I should probably get up and like participate in the real world for like a little bit.
I should probably interact.
I should
with
probably
the
go
the
do
other
something
things. Yeah.
instead of just like thinking and spiraling. And I think that's why having a podcast is helpful.
Yeah.
It's because like, sure, thinking about those ideas and like being mindful and really trying to process those ideas is a good thing to do.
Yep.
But after a certain amount of hours, like, it's time to get out of bed and do something about it.
Yes. I completely agree.
Yeah. So that's what I'm.
That's very wise. Thank you for your wisdom.
Namaste.
Namaste on this couch because it's so comfortable.
It actually is. I'm like, I'm just gonna.
This is our couch. This is the super sensitive couch.
Oh wait, you can't even see. Hold on. Gotta pet the couch.
It's the couch. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Flew by, but I had so much fun. And I would love to have you again and infiltrate your podcast if you ever have guests.
I plan on having guests.
Amazing.
I just need to upload the episodes that have been sitting.
You need to upload yourself.
Yeah. Also, before we go, I want to show off my little man.
Yeah, show off your person. So cute.
He says,
I love it.
hello.
He says hello. Thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in. And I will see you next week on the Super Sensitive Show. Goodbye.
Be there or be square.
You don't want to be square. Ainsley, as a thank you for coming on to this show, I have a gift for you.
No worry. Do I get merch?
You get merch because it's like Oprah. Everybody
You
look
get
at
some
me.
merch. You get some merch.
Here is a super sensitive tote bag.
Love tote bags.
So now you can have that and you can rep SS on the streets.
I totally will. I like that it kind of does look like an eyeball.
There you go.
Love eyeballs.
Love to
great.
see. Love eyeballs.
Love eyeballs. And I'll put my little second brain in there.
Oh my god.
Shop Super Sensitive to store your second brains.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
That'll be $30. Thank you.